It's Black Friday week, which means you sacrifice your bank account balance to improve the health of the economy. And you get AirPods for it, I guess. Apple's going to be making some sacrifices to achieve a thinner body for the iPhone 17 Air, rumored to launch next year, which I'm planning on buying just so I can reassure it that it'll always be beautiful no matter what. Counter that programming. An insider report by The Information claims the iPhone Air will be between 5 and 6 millimeters thin, compared to the 7.8 and 8.25 millimeter thicknesses of the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro models, respectively. To hit that thinness target, the report says Apple is degrading some iPhone functionality. The Air will sport a single speaker in the earpiece, dropping the one usually located on the bottom, while the phone will be the first to sport Apple's in-house 5G modem. That'll come at the cost of not supporting faster millimeter wave 5G. And of course, it'll have a smaller and thinner battery, but who needs to last longer when you look this good? Did that look good? Interestingly, the report says that the thinner design may not stop Apple from adding a physical SIM card tray, which has been phased out of North American iPhones for a while, to its Chinese models. It also claims the camera bump will be large and centered on the back, but you can offset that extra thickness by slapping a big old case on it. Rumors of an impending launch for Intel's next-gen Battle Mage Arc gaming GPUs had some fuel added to the fire this weekend when Amazon listings for ASRock versions of the Arc B580 were spotted by video cards with a Z, a letter I often wish I could add to my own name. The listings revealed a Steel Legend 12GB OC, so we can thankfully avoid the whole "is 8GB enough VRAM" debate and argue about 12GB instead. And there was also a listing for another model called Challenger 12GB OC. The B580's predecessor, the Alchemist-powered A580, is a roughly RTX 3060 level card that launched for just $179 about a year ago, so hopefully the B580 has something to say to NVIDIA's RTX 5060, which is expected sometime next spring. Because I don't know how much releasing a good graphics card would actually help Intel's bottom line, but they could sure use a pick-me-up right now. The delay of their Ohio chip manufacturing plant has led the US Commerce Department to downgrade the company's CHIPS Act funding from $8.5 billion to less than $8 billion, which would mean a bit more if any of that money had actually reached Intel 2 years after having been promised. CEO Pat Gelsinger, usually a paragon of positivity in the tech world, spoke to Bloomberg regarding how long this process is taking. "We are disappointed," he said, somehow still smiling. "Just keep smiling, Pat." OpenAI has blamed the New York Times for that accidentally deleted evidence meant to be used in the newspaper's copyright lawsuit against the tech giant. But OpenAI might be sort of right. See, the NYT legal team was given access to look through OpenAI servers as part of the evidence discovery process. But according to OpenAI, the team was storing some of their search results on a drive that was meant to be used as a temporary cache. The NYT team requested a configuration change, which resulted in removing the folder structure and some file names, effectively tossing the data that had been found back into the haystack. Probably shouldn't have put that particular needle in the temporary needle tray. Why do we have that? No one knows. OpenAI offered multiple times to perform searches for the New York Times, who nevertheless insist on what OpenAI's team calls inefficient boil the ocean searches, using up the AI company's precious hardware performance. Now, discovery for both this case and another one filed by book authors have been complicated by an OpenAI policy that provides plaintiffs with $15,000 worth of credits to prompt OpenAI's LLMs to try and get the evidence, and then charges them half the retail cost once they use those credits up. I mean, what? You expect OpenAI to just let the lawyers bother ChatGPT all day? It's got stuff to do. The internet isn't gonna slopify itself. Instead of dealing with that, they should check out our sponsor, Jawa, the marketplace for gamers to buy and sell gaming gear and purchase custom PCs from experienced builders at amazing prices. Verified sellers are vetted by the Jawa team, so they're less like strangers and more like secondhand friends. And from now until November 29th, they'll have a deal of the day with massive savings on stuff like custom PCs, components, peripherals, and more. Like this aesthetically pleasing powerhouse for $22.95. You're gonna wanna create an account to get notified of more deals, flash sales, and giveaways. So score some great deals on your next PC upgrade at Jawa by using our link in the description. It's like every day this week is Black Friday, but that's a lie because the next day is always just another weekday. And you know who doesn't lie? QuickBits. Asterisk. Sony is working on a proper handheld device that can play PS5 games, although it's a few years away, according to a Bloomberg report citing anonymous sources. Apparently, Sony just realized the Nintendo Switch exists, and maybe there's a market for a handheld product like the PS Portable, but which appeals to someone other than dads who have to constantly let their family use the TV. The sacrifice of a father. The report comes a couple weeks after Phil Spencer confirmed that an Xbox handheld is in development and is also a few years away, also reported by Bloomberg. Wow, how does it feel to break all the handheld news, Bloomberg? They just all want to talk to me. I don't know. Microsoft blocked Windows updates from systems which A, had already updated to Windows 11 24H2, and B, had certain Ubisoft games installed, including Star Wars Outlaws, the Avatar game, and a trio of Assassin's Creed titles. Apparently, something in the 24H2 update caused these games to crash and experience various glitches, according to reports on Reddit and the Microsoft forums. While Ubisoft delivered a temporary fix for Star Wars Outlaws, some games may still be affected, so installing them is one way to prevent Microsoft from slamming an update down your throat. I mean, not sure if Ubisoft games taste any better, but a £7 billion class action lawsuit will proceed against Google in the UK for anti-competitive behavior, despite the tech giant trying to appeal, presumably using the same effective arguments that led to them losing a similar lawsuit in the US. But they think differently over there, though. They talk like this. It could work. The lawsuit concerns the usual Google stuff. They control the search engine and the browser and the mobile OS used by the most people, and it's all tied together, and they pay billions of dollars to have other companies use search, but Google keeps getting sued because they're weird about it. Just admit you want a monopoly. Look what Apple says. We're better than you. See, just be honest. A company called Ubitium says they're developing a universal processor that can perform the functions of a CPU, GPU, DSP, FPGA, other acronyms, and more using a single workload agnostic microarchitecture. That architecture is based on RISC-V, a rising star in the chip world, which I think might be going to its head a little bit. The idea sounds awesome, but Ubitium's seed funding round just raised $3.7 million, which doesn't exactly scream investor confidence, probably because they didn't talk about AI nearly enough. Oh, yeah, and sentient robots are gonna help design it. Well, why didn't you say so here? And hey, if you want sentient robots to give you the tech news on Wednesday, I can make that happen. You know, we'll have to solve the hard problem of consciousness, but I got a couple days, it'll be fine.